You said to one of our researchers that this career that we just look back and all of those incredible moments that you've had in your life, and they really, really are, was down to a little bit of luck at the very beginning. And
oh, absolutely, I think. But I do think luck comes several times in everybody's life. All you have to do is grab.
Leslie Caron's life reads like a storybook filled with beauty, fame, and dazzling accomplishments. On screen, she danced with legends, starred in iconic Hollywood musicals, and captured the hearts of millions with her elegance and charm. Yet behind the glitz and glamour, her life was marked by hardship, loss, and deep emotional pain. From her earliest years, Caron faced struggles that few could imagine. Born on July 1, 1931, in Boulogne-sur-Seine, France, she grew up in a family that seemed perfect on the surface. Her father, Claude Caron, was a chemist and perfumer, meticulous and analytical, while her mother, Margaret Petit, was a Broadway-trained dancer, artistic and ambitious. This combination of science and creativity gave Leslie a unique foundation, the drive to succeed and the sensitivity to feel deeply. Her family lived in luxury, complete with a townhouse staffed by a chef, butler, and multiple maids. Summers were spent at a countryside estate in the Pyrenees, and life appeared idyllic. But appearances can be deceiving. Caron's childhood was not filled with carefree play and laughter. Her mother, having grown up poor, believed that ballet was the key to success, and she pushed Leslie relentlessly. Ballet was not just an art form in the Caron household. It was a ticket to security, perhaps even wealth or status. Leslie practiced constantly, under intense pressure, and often felt emotionally neglected. Her mother focused more on results than on nurturing her happiness, leaving young Leslie to navigate the harsh realities of ambition at an age when most children were learning to simply enjoy life. The true test of Leslie Caron's resilience came with the outbreak of World War II. Suddenly, the world she had known was gone. The Carons lost nearly all their wealth, and the comforts they had once taken for granted disappeared overnight. Winters were harsh, and with no heat, Leslie and her family often went to bed fully dressed, huddling for warmth. Food was scarce, and some nights they survived on potato peels. Fear surrounded them constantly, as Parisians no longer trusted one another, and neighbors began disappearing. Leslie noticed her Jewish neighbors vanish without explanation, leaving only the haunting memory of yellow stars. The family never spoke of what was happening outside their home, and her mother sank into depression, turning to alcohol to cope with the unbearable stress. The war had stolen not only material wealth, but also hope for the future. Leslie's formative years were defined by survival rather than play, and yet, amidst the fear and deprivation, she found solace in ballet. From the age of 11, she trained at the National Conservatory of Dance in Paris, pouring herself into the discipline that would one day launch her career. Despite malnutrition and physical weakness, she showed extraordinary talent, and by 14, she was performing professionally. Her dedication paid off when she joined the Ballet de Champalisis at 16, a prestigious company known for blending technical precision with artistic innovation. Caron's rise from a ballet prodigy in Paris to a Hollywood star was nothing short of miraculous. In 1950, the legendary choreographer Gene Kelly saw her perform and immediately recognized her potential for film. He was searching for a leading lady for an American in Paris after the original actress dropped out, and Caron's grace, charm, and stage presence captivated him. She had no acting experience, but Kelly saw something beyond technical skill, a spark that could translate beautifully to the screen. Within days, Caron was on a plane to California, stepping into a world utterly unlike the one she had known in wartime Paris. Hollywood was sunny, abundant, and overwhelming. Even something as simple as a plate of food seemed luxurious compared to the scarcity she had endured. Yet the transition was not easy. She arrived in fragile health, weakened by years of malnutrition, and during filming, she contracted mononucleosis. The studio considered replacing her, but Kelly insisted she continue working at a manageable pace, allowing her to recover while filming. Her perseverance paid off. An American in Paris became a critical and commercial triumph, winning 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. The 17-minute ballet finale choreographed by Kelly remains one of the most iconic dance sequences in cinema history. This film not only launched Caron's Hollywood career, but also cemented her reputation as a dancer capable of blending technical mastery with emotional depth. Despite her early success, Hollywood presented challenges beyond physical demands. The industry's expectations for women were restrictive, and Caron often found herself pigeonholed as a dancer rather than a serious actress. Yet, she persevered, studying nutrition to regain her strength and maintaining a rigorous training schedule to handle the physical demands of dance on cement studio floors. In 1953, her career took another leap forward when she starred in Lily, directed by Charles Walters. The film told the story of a young orphaned girl who finds solace in a puppeteer's world of magical puppets. Caron's performance was raw and emotive, capturing innocence, longing, and joy in a way that captivated both audiences and critics. She earned her first Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, won a BAFTA for Best Foreign Actress, and received a Golden Globe nomination. This role marked a turning point, proving she was more than a dancer. She was a versatile actress capable of handling complex emotional roles. Caron's career trajectory continued upward with films like Daddy Long Legs, 1955, and Gigi, 1958, the latter winning 9 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Her meticulous attention to detail, from choreography to costume design, demonstrated her commitment to shaping the art itself, not merely performing it. Yet, Caron's personal life was far from the fairy tale image her on-screen roles suggested. She married twice, first to John Hormel, heir to the Hormel Foods fortune, in 1951, and later to Peter Hall, a rising theater director. Both marriages brought disappointment and heartbreak. Her marriage to Hormel ended in a public and painful divorce, complicated by false accusations and financial disputes. With Hall, despite shared children and the sacrifices Caron made for the relationship, she faced betrayal when Hall had an affair with another actress. Each personal setback underscored the disparity between her glamorous image and the private reality of her life. Caron's struggle to balance motherhood, marriage, and career exemplified the difficult choices women faced in mid-20th century society, especially in Hollywood, where professional ambition for women was often discouraged. By the 1980s, Caron's battles became more visible. She struggled with alcoholism, attempting to numb the lingering pain of childhood trauma, career pressures, and personal loss. In 1993, overwhelmed and lonely while running an inn in Burgundy, France, she attempted to take her own life, swallowing pills with alcohol. Remarkably, she survived, an event she later described as both terrifying and transformative. This near tragedy marked the beginning of a new chapter. She sought therapy, joined Alcoholics Anonymous, and gradually confronted the deep emotional wounds that had haunted her for decades. These steps allowed Caron to reclaim her life, finding a sense of stability and self-understanding she had long been denied. Caron's resilience was not limited to personal recovery. Professionally, she reinvented herself in the decades that followed. In 1962, she starred in The L-Shaped Room, a dramatic film exploring social issues rarely depicted in mainstream cinema, including single motherhood and isolation. Her performance was lauded for authenticity and depth, earning her a Golden Globe, a BAFTA, and an Academy Award nomination. She continued to take on varied roles, from romantic comedies like Father Goose to biographical dramas like Valentino, showcasing her ability to adapt to diverse genres. Even in her 70s, Caron remained active on stage and screen, demonstrating that true artistry and talent endure beyond youth and fame. Throughout her life, Caron remained outspoken about Hollywood's limitations, particularly its treatment of female performers. She criticized the pigeonholing of dancers into musicals, asserting her desire to pursue serious acting roles. Her career is a testament to perseverance, creativity, and determination in the face of systemic constraints. Moreover, she confronted and processed her personal struggles openly, writing a memoir, Thank Heaven, to recount her life honestly, addressing both triumphs and challenges. This effort offered insight not only into her experiences, but also into the broader pressures faced by women in entertainment across generations. Leslie Caron's story is one of resilience and complexity. From surviving wartime scarcity and family tragedy to achieving global fame and enduring personal heartbreak, she navigated a life that was both extraordinary and painfully human. Her experiences reveal that beneath the surface of glamour and success, struggles with mental health, personal relationships, and societal expectations can shape even the most celebrated lives. Caron's journey also illustrates the power of art to sustain, heal, and transform. Ballet, film, and theater were not just careers for her. They were lifelines, offering both purpose and expression amid turbulence. Today, Leslie Caron stands as a symbol of perseverance, creativity, and emotional honesty. She reminds us that the lives of public figures often conceal private pain, and that true success is measured not only by accolades or fame, but by the ability to confront adversity with grace and courage. Her life, full of brilliance and heartbreak, offers inspiration to anyone striving to overcome obstacles, reminding us that even after the darkest moments, recovery, reinvention, and fulfillment are possible. Her legacy endures not only in classic films and performances, but also in the example she set for resilience, self-expression, and authenticity in the face of life's challenges. Even after decades of Hollywood fame, Leslie Caron's life was far from easy, and the challenges she faced later in life revealed a vulnerability that few people ever saw. By the 1980s, she had already endured personal losses, failed marriages, and the pressures of an industry that had once celebrated her brilliance, but could also be unforgiving. During this time, Caron struggled with alcoholism, a habit she later admitted she used to numb the pain of years of emotional strain and unresolved trauma. Alcohol provided a temporary escape, but it only deepened her depression and created new problems in her life, including periods of loneliness and self-doubt. The public, who knew her primarily as the graceful dancer in An American in Paris or the charming heroine in Gigi, had no idea how fragile her emotional state had become. In 1993, the situation reached a terrifying breaking point. Running an inn in Burgundy, France, Leslie found herself overwhelmed by financial troubles, isolation, and a sense of hopelessness. One night, in a moment of despair, she swallowed a handful of pills and washed them down with alcohol, unsure if she wanted to live or die. Miraculously, she survived, but the incident was not merely a scare. It was a turning point, a moment that forced her to confront the underlying causes of her pain rather than continue running from them. After her recovery in the hospital, Caron sought professional help, attending therapy sessions that encouraged her to face the long-buried trauma of her childhood, including the emotional neglect she had endured and the hardships of surviving World War II in occupied France. Therapy gave her the tools to understand and process grief, anxiety, and depression in ways that she had never attempted before. She also joined Alcoholics Anonymous, finding not just a community of support, but a structure that helped her rebuild her life step by step. Caron later described both therapy and AA as life-saving, providing her with stability, a renewed sense of self-worth, and the emotional resilience she needed to continue pursuing her passions. Beyond her personal recovery, she took control of her story publicly through her memoir, Thank Heaven, published in 2009. In it, she recounted the highs and lows of her life, from her formative years as a disciplined young dancer in war-torn France to the dazzling lights of Hollywood and the heartbreak of failed relationships and her mother's tragic suicide. Writing became more than storytelling. It was a form of emotional processing, a way for Caron to untangle decades of unresolved feelings and clarify the truth about her experiences. Through her memoir, she addressed rumors, corrected misconceptions, and allowed readers to understand the human being behind the public persona, a woman who had survived unimaginable challenges and still maintained her dignity, her grace, and her commitment to art. Her career, which spanned over half a century, also demonstrated her remarkable adaptability. In 2007, She earned a Primetime Emmy Award for her guest role on Law and Order, SVU, portraying a rape survivor whose case was reopened after many years. Her performance was widely praised for its raw emotion and depth, proving that even after decades, Caron could deliver work that resonated with contemporary audiences. She continued to perform in theater productions like A Little Night Music in Paris, sharing the stage with younger actors while still commanding attention through her experience and presence. Caron's later film roles, including Le Divorce, 2003, further highlighted her ability to transition gracefully into modern cinema, combining elegance, humor, and emotional subtlety. Beyond awards and accolades, Leslie Caron's later years were defined by her courage to confront her past, her determination to maintain artistic integrity, and her commitment to living a life defined not by tragedy, but by resilience. Her story illustrates that even someone who seems to have it all, fame, wealth, talent, can endure profound suffering, and that survival often requires extraordinary inner strength, community, and the courage to seek help when the weight of life becomes unbearable. Ultimately, Caron's journey from near tragedy to renewal serves as an inspiring testament to human resilience, reminding us that grace is not only a matter of skill or beauty, but also a matter of enduring, adapting, and continuing to pursue one's purpose despite life's hardships. Leslie Caron's life and career left a legacy that extends far beyond the silver screen, influencing generations of dancers, actors, and audiences who admired both her skill and her resilience. While she is remembered for her iconic roles in An American in Paris, Gigi, and Lily, her true significance lies in how she navigated the constant tension between public perception and private reality. Hollywood often placed actresses in rigid molds, defining them by a single successful role or typecasting them based on looks rather than talent. Caron, however, refused to be confined by these limitations. She actively sought out roles that challenged her and expanded her artistic range, moving from lighthearted musicals to complex, dramatic performances that address social issues such as single motherhood, isolation, and personal trauma. Her insistence on taking control of her career was an act of courage, especially at a time when the studio system wielded enormous power over performers, often dictating their public image, behavior, and even their personal lives. Beyond acting, Caron shaped the films she worked on, contributing ideas to choreography, costume design, and character development, which was unusual for actresses of her era. This involvement not only enhanced the quality of her work, but also demonstrated her dedication to her craft and her belief in collaboration as an essential part of storytelling. Her influence extended to mentoring younger performers and advocating for a more nuanced understanding of the demands placed on women in the entertainment industry. Even in her 70s, Caron proved that talent does not diminish with age. Her Emmy-winning performance on Law and Order, SVU brought contemporary audiences a nuanced portrayal of trauma and resilience, reminding viewers that her ability to convey emotion had only deepened over time. Theater performances like A Little Night Music and film appearances in Le Divorce showcased her adaptability, elegance, and commitment to storytelling, earning her the respect of colleagues and critics alike. Caron's personal reflections, particularly those shared in her memoir Thank Heaven, revealed a woman who had survived adversity not by avoiding pain, but by confronting it. She openly discussed the long-lasting effects of childhood hardship, the loss of her mother to suicide, failed marriages, and battles with alcoholism and depression, providing an honest, unfiltered perspective that resonated with anyone who has faced obstacles or personal struggles. In doing so, she transformed her life into a source of inspiration, demonstrating that vulnerability and strength are not opposites but complementary traits that allow individuals to heal and grow. Caron's story also highlighted the complex relationship between fame and fulfillment. While she achieved international acclaim, awards, and the admiration of millions, she never allowed external validation to define her worth. Instead, she emphasized personal integrity, the pursuit of meaningful work, and the importance of emotional well-being. Her example underscores a powerful lesson that success is most valuable when coupled with self-awareness, courage, and the ability to rise from setbacks stronger than before. Leslie Caron's contributions to cinema, dance, and culture remain enduring. She bridged the gap between classical ballet and Hollywood musicals, elevated acting through technical skill and emotional authenticity, and navigated a turbulent personal life with resilience and dignity. Her story continues to captivate new generations, not only for the grace and charm she brought to every performance, but also for the very human struggles she overcame behind the scenes. By surviving despair, rebuilding her life, and continuing to create art into her later years, Caron became more than a screen legend. She became a symbol of perseverance and hope. Her life teaches us that even the brightest stars experience shadows, but those shadows do not diminish the light, they shape it. Leslie Caron's journey, from war-torn Paris to Hollywood stardom, from personal tragedy to emotional triumph, serves as a timeless reminder that grace, talent, and courage are inseparable, and that true artistry is born not only from skill but from the resilience to keep moving forward, no matter how heavy life's burdens may feel. And the final chapters of her life. Leslie Caron continued to exemplify resilience, grace, and unwavering dedication to her art, proving that age and adversity could not diminish her passion or talent. Even into her 70s and beyond, she remained actively engaged in theater, film, and television, choosing roles that challenged her and allowed her to explore the full spectrum of human emotion. In 2010, for example, she returned to the stage in Paris's Théâtre du Châtelet for a performance in A Little Night Music, taking on the role of Madame Armfeldt, a character marked by wisdom, longing, and reflection. Her performance was celebrated for its depth, precision, and the emotional authenticity she brought to every scene, showing audiences that her skills had matured and intensified over the decades. Beyond live performance, Caron remained visible on screen in both French and international cinema. In Le Divorce, 2003, she portrayed Suzanne de Roysson, a sophisticated matriarch navigating the clash between French and American cultures. Her nuanced performance combined elegance, humor, and a quiet command of the narrative, reaffirming her ability to adapt to modern filmmaking while maintaining the grace that had defined her early career. Even as she aged, she never allowed herself to retreat from public life or creative challenges. Caron also became increasingly vocal about her experiences in Hollywood, candidly discussing the limitations and pressures placed on women during the golden age of cinema. She criticized typecasting and the studio system's tendency to reduce talented performers to mere decorative roles, reflecting broader issues of gender inequality in the industry. Yet she balanced these critiques with admiration for the opportunities Hollywood had provided her, recognizing how international recognition allowed her to shape her own career and make creative choices that would have been impossible in post-war Europe. Her openness about personal struggles, particularly her battles with depression and alcoholism, served as an inspiration to others who faced similar challenges. She demonstrated that acknowledging vulnerability does not weaken a person, it strengthens them and can become a tool for healing and growth. Leslie Caron's story is remarkable not only for her artistic achievements, but also for the lessons embedded in her life. She exemplified perseverance in the face of overwhelming obstacles, from a childhood shadowed by war and deprivation, to navigating a high-pressure entertainment industry, to enduring the pain of failed relationships and the loss of loved ones. Through therapy, Alcoholics Anonymous, memoir writing, and continuous creative engagement, she modeled a path of recovery, resilience, and self-determination that resonates far beyond the world of performance. Even her near-tragic overdose in 1993 became a turning point, not the end of her story. Surviving that moment, she transformed her life, proving that personal crises, no matter how intense, can be overcome with determination, support, and self-reflection. Today, her